Today on the channel, we are taking a look at the Bfight 210. It is a racing slash freestyle quad. It was sent to me courtesy of GearBest.com. Thanks to GearBest for sending me this one for review. Let's check out some DVR footage, shall we?
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
I'm a huge fan of this quad. First off, let me just say, if you don't like to build and you don't like to mess around in beta flight and you just want a quad that you can kind of pick up and it's pretty much ready to go, you just got to bind it with your transmitter, figure out some video channels. This one is an excellent choice and I'm really liking this one a lot. I love flying this one around. I should mention that it was pretty easy to get into the air. I didn't have any problems binding this. This is the FlySky version, so I flew it with my FlySky i6. Had no problems whatsoever binding it to the i6. The only issues I had were linking up on the video channels. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm still not 100% clear on how the video channel switching works with this. I think it's set up on one of your aux channels, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't take my word. I ended up having to take my Fat Sharks and switch the bands on the receiver, which I've never had to do for a quad before. I've always changed the channels on the quad, but for this one, I couldn't get it to work. That might be the one hiccup with this quad for you guys out there. But, you know, if I can figure it out, you guys can probably figure it out too. That being said, let's get into some DVR footage. Check it out. So first off, I want to say this one does have OSD, and I didn't mess around with any of the configurations in beta flight, so this is exactly how it's going to come out of the box for you. In the future, I'd probably move some things around. Artificial Horizon, I think, has got to go, and I don't really need the aircraft name on there. Some guys put their own name on, but, you know, less is more as far as I'm concerned with an OSD. So here we are, Maiden Flight, Maiden FPV Flight. I did some line of sight acro. This Maiden Flight was actually in my backyard, so I was kind of going up real ginger on the throttle. Didn't want to, you know, didn't know what was going on, so I do a nice little roll there. That was a little daring for me for right off the bat. Maiden Flight in my backyard, neighbors' houses and everything's around like that. I actually have never maidened a quad this size in my backyard before, and honestly, I don't fly a quad this size in my backyard all that much, but has excellent control and it is tuned like butter, I guess. It's butter tuned. Ooh, almost hit the tree there, you see that? So flying around the backyard, and I just had no problems. You know, it just felt, everything just felt right about this quad right out of the box. Still trying to get a feel for the quad here at this point, you know, just kind of floating around the backyard, doing a few rolls here and there, a few flips, some tricks here. But as I said, you know, I don't normally fly a quad this size in my backyard. I have a decent sized backyard, and somebody, you know, better flyer than me, like Mr. Steele, could just rip through my backyard with no problems. But me, you know, I usually fly in a more open area. I am definitely no Mr. Steele. So, as you can see, right out of the box, flying FPV, if you got some experience with FPV, I think you're going to enjoy this one. Even if you're just starting out, really good one. It's tuned really nicely and seems to be pretty durable. I haven't had any huge crashes with it. So I think that's enough of the backyard footage. Let's get into, also worth noting, this was a 3S battery, and I did that intentionally. I didn't want to start out on 4S. I wanted to go ease into this quad a little bit. So I think you guys will recognize this spot. This is one of my favorite spots, close to where I work. And going up in air mode here. I don't know exactly why I went with air mode on this one. So a nice little roll over the tree there and just kind of floating around. Still on 3S here. I have like a fear of breaking these quads before I get to review them. So I wanted to get a few flights in on 3S, dialed down a little bit for you guys. So here we're trying to split the trees and I do it. I mean, it is a pretty large gap, so no problems there. Rolling around, and as you can see, the FPV is pretty good, you know, getting a few glitches here and there, but no major breakups. believe this video transmitter is switchable from 25 up to 200, I believe. But as I said, I had a few issues with the video transmitter, so there you go, a nice little spin there. Oh, don't hit the tree. Oh, don't hit this tree either. Oh geez, oh geez. Okay, we split the gap there. And you know, it's a nice flyer. You know, it just felt right out of the box. You know, it was flipping and doing some nice acro maneuvers. Again, I'm not the greatest acro pilot in the world, but this one was tuned really nice. It kind of hits the rolls perfectly almost every time. And you don't really see too much flutter or anything like that. You know, I'm not an expert too. Whoa, whoa, we hit the ground there. I'm not an expert tuner, and you know, someone with a little more experience than that might be seeing this footage and being like, oh, well, you know, we got some flutter here and there and this and that and the other thing. But, you know, for me, what I like to do, you know, just go out and have some fun, fly some FPV. This one's tuned great, and I probably wouldn't mess around with it too much. It does have great speed here. As you can see, I'm going pretty low and fast around the pavilion there. Ooh, a little bit of breakup there. That's probably the biggest breakup I had with this particular one. Oh, over the tree, don't hit it. Ooh, ooh, what? Woo! Yeah, coming back through. Oh, watch out for those swings. Flip and don't hit the pavilion. Don't hit the pavilion. So, you know, that's the thing about this quad, is it has so much power, and this is just 3S again, that if you're getting yourself in a situation where you think you are gonna crash or hit something, you got a lot of power to get yourself out of the situation. That could be a good thing or a bad thing, because you could save yourself, but also you could probably make it worse too if you know, don't do it right. How about that right by the weather vane there, and then a nice little flip. Yeah, I really like this quad, the Bfight 210. It is an excellent flyer. It has these, what are these? These Fly motors. I've never heard of that brand. Ooh, a nice little crash there. I didn't even see what happened. Let me go back. Let me go back. I didn't see what I did. I don't remember what happened. So let's go back here a little bit. And we're heading towards this tree, over the tree, coming back. Oh, I hit the tree. That's right. Yeah. So it was a decent crash there into the tree, and then it landed down on the ground. So pretty durable little quad. Let's just go through one more flight here. And this was earlier today. This will be a 4S flight for you. And interesting to note, you know, obviously you see the OSD here, and it tells you which mode you're in, whether you're in stability or I have it set up for air mode here. Again, I don't know exactly why I did that. So I go up in stability mode here, and I didn't notice it, but I thought it was an acro. So I'm like flying around here, and I think I did this in the King Kong video too, where I was flying around, and then I go up and try to flip. Whoop, nope, you're in stability mode, genius. Okay, so now we're in air mode. And I remember when I took off there, like it didn't feel right when I took off, and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And I didn't realize I was in stability mode. It just didn't feel right to me. So flying around here, a little 4S action for you, roll. So you get a little more power, and I over roll and over flip a few times here because of the 4S, because I kind of got used to flying this around on 3S. Kind of nailed that one there though. That one was pretty perfect. So maybe I'm just being a little too hard on myself, I don't know. So again, I like this spot for flying these size quads, definitely a lot of space. Little chance of hitting things if you don't fly too close to things. Got a little close to the ground there, go around the pole. And it is a nice flyer. Nice shot of the cornfields, go upside down, come right side up. There's the pavilion. And it just flies nice. You can do some nice acro with this one. Again, I'm not the greatest pilot in the world, but felt pretty good flying this one around. Going upside down, seeing some crop circles there. Shout out to James Anderson for pointing out the crop circles in one of my previous videos. So I under-rotated a little bit there. I was trying to get a feel for this 4S doing some... This wasn't my first 4S flight, but I think I got it used to flying this on 3S. And a little bit of vibration there when I'm hitting the throttle. And I did have... I'll have to show you that video in a second. I think it was after that crash into the tree that I showed you earlier. I lost total focus in the camera as I was flying, so the lens came unscrewed. So I'll show you that footage in a minute. Almost hit the cornfield there, and I remember thinking to myself, oh boy, what if I fail-saved right when I went over that cornfield and never find it? So experimenting with some acrobatics here. Late in the day, you see what kind of picture you get late in the day. This is a CCD camera, I believe. and it is more than adequate for flying around FPV. I would be interested if I could strap some sort of action camera to this. I might do that in the future and come back. Might have a little bit of difficulty mounting one the way this quad is set up. Ooh, double roll there. Don't hit the cornfields there, Walshy. So yeah, you can see when I hit it on the throttle, I get a little bit of vibrations there. I might have to lock down my camera or something like that. Or I could have a little bend in the props or something like that. I think, is this where I hit the tree? Yep, that is definitely where I hit the tree.
That can't be good. Let's go get it. Might have to use this to get it down. I don't know. We'll see how high up we are in the tree. I don't think we're that high. That wasn't fun. Well, it was fun until I hit the tree. See how high up we are. See how high up we are in this tree. Oh, not high at all. Duh. Look at that. We're not very high at all. Got in there pretty good though, huh? Let's get her down. Everything still looks good. We'll check the props a little more thorough when we get back over there. Oh, shut up, transmitter.
So, tried to go under the tree there and didn't quite make it. Didn't quite make it. So this was a flight after the crash into the tree. This tree right here that no, it was the other tree? I don't remember. Anyway, so I'm flying around here and then the camera comes unscrewed and it's out of focus and I can't see anything. Now I really can't see anything. So I just beached it and yeah, not one of my finer moments. So you might want to make sure that your camera is locked down with some, I don't know, thread locker or something like that to make sure it doesn't come unscrewed, or just make sure after a crash that you kind of tighten it down. That's my FPV footage. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's talk about the quad a little bit. It comes with these Gemfan props, and these are some nice looking props. One thing I did do was I took the battery strap here and I kind of thread it under the stack here. A little bit of a tight squeeze there. I had to kind of take a screwdriver and kind of pull it through. I also got this little zip tie on here that is kind of like a little bit loose, but it's gonna, in my head, it provides a little more stability to the battery, but in reality, maybe not. It has this nice little antenna on here. I'm not sure exactly what you call this one, very thin. So what I've done is it came with a zip tie, but I cut it off and put my own on there because it was in one of these other holes and I wanted it more in the center here. So put the zip tie around it, put some heat shrink around it and shrunk it down so it's just kind of sticking up like this. It's longer, so you're gonna wanna come up with some sort of solution to keep it in place or else it might get chewed up in your props here. So it does have the nice motor braids and that gives you a nice clean look. The camera is adjustable however you wanna fly. Another thing I did was the XT60 cable is pretty long here, so I zip tied it down to this arm. So I'll go through a few specs on here, and I don't get too much into all the KVs and the F3s and the omnibuses and that, but I'll give you guys a little run through on this. So for about 150 bucks, that's what this one's going for. You get a nice little package. You have 3K carbon fiber. The bottom plate is 4mm in thickness. The top plate is 1.5mm. It has an Omnibus F3 Pro flight controller with OSD. So the motors are 2205, 2300 kV, and they are the Fly. I don't know, I've never heard of that brand before, but they fly fine in my opinion. The stack has a 4-in-1 30 amp BL Heli S ESC. Comes with the 5152 3-bladed Gemfan props. The camera is a 600 TVL 1/3 inch CCD camera, and it does 40 channels on the VTX, and you can switch between 25 and 200 milliwatts. It comes without a receiver in DSMX, FreeSky, and FlySky. Anyway, guys, I think that's gonna do it with the Bfight 210 here. Sorry it took me so long to get you this review, but Just having fun flying it. What do you want me to say? Just having fun flying it. And sometimes I get in love with some of these quads and I just spend all my time flying them instead of worrying about the reviews. So I'm gonna continue to fly this one, and if I find a good action cam mounting solution, I might get brave and give you a video with that. So that does it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll leave you with some more DVR footage of the Bfight here. Catch you later.